Hi everybody, I'm Elizabeth Smith and I'm a personal coach and soon to be certified nutrition specialist in the state of Maryland. And I'm so glad that you signed up for this 7-day primer course on illuminating the shadows. This course is designed to help you get ready for my longer course, which begins on June 4th. And that course is a 30-day course where we're going to dive a little bit deeper into these shadows. But for now, for the next 7 days, I'm going to send you some quick videos that you can watch every day. There's going to be homework on every video, and hopefully this will get you closer to realizing the places in yourself that you might not be paying attention to in an effort to help you reach your goals, whether it be weight loss or personal development or career changes or making more money. Hopefully these videos will help you to get closer to your goal. So we're going to start off today by talking about what is a shadow. The shadow is what some people call your id. I don't know if any of you have studied psychology, but in psychology, some people will look at it as the id. Some people look at it as the ego. It's basically just repressed energies within yourself that have, for some reason over time, been pushed down. You have not been allowed or given yourself an opportunity to express this. Usually this happens in childhood for whatever reason. There's multiple reasons why you may have developed a shadow within yourself, but it's just an energy that you have for some reason not given yourself permission to express outwardly consciously. So what happens is these energies don't go away. They stay with us. They just kind of live in the background, and they might not come out in the most productive, shall we say, way. It's that term that says she's rearing her ugly head or showing her true self. This is kind of that energy that comes out when you're doing those things, when you're showing your true self. So the reason why it's important to look at these things is because these are usually energies that need to come out in order for you to be able to move closer to whatever you're trying to do. If you constantly repress these energies within yourself, you can't ever really be your true authentic self. The next 7 days is going to help you to get a little bit deeper into identifying your own shadows, and we're going to talk about why it's important to identify your shadows a little bit more, and then I'm going to give you some tips for how you can avoid letting your shadows rule your life and make your decisions for you, because unfortunately that's what happens usually. So how will you know that? I have some notes here. I'm just going to refer to them so I don't miss anything, because I like to talk. So the thing that we don't really notice about these shadows is that we don't think that they're a problem until we actually notice that they're a problem. So what happens is people will say, well, I never get angry. I'm a very calm person. I don't ever get angry. But the problem is you might never get angry, but maybe you are passive aggressive to the point where the people around you can't even stand it. Like when they've done something to hurt you, maybe you're the person that just passive aggressively continues to do things over and over because that's the way that you're expressing that energy within yourself. Or maybe you get angry, and instead of expressing actual anger, you just are stubborn to the point where the people around you don't even want to be around you anymore. So this often is, you can see this when a couple or a person, an individual will say, my husband or my boyfriend and I, we never fight. We never get into any kind of argument. Well, maybe you're not actually arguing. Maybe you're not expressing the anger that you feel, but maybe you are withholding love in some other way, or maybe you're also being passive aggressive to express that feeling that you have. It just means that for whatever reason along the way, you have learned that it's not safe to express the true energy that you're feeling. So you develop other ways to handle that. You keep that shadow within yourself hidden, and then unconsciously it comes out another way. The next thing that I kind of want to do is talk about how you can identify your own shadows. And the easiest way for me to describe this to people is that feeling that you get when somebody has a personality quality that just irritates you. Maybe it's somebody who's like overly bubbly, that kind of syrupy niceness, or it could also be somebody who expresses their anger fully, or even if they express their anger in a non-productive way. Maybe they're overly angry and you're just like, I just can't even with this person and their anger. Maybe it's like over somebody who can outwardly express their joy. It could also be somebody who, for moms especially, when you see people who are easily playing with their children, they're not having any kind of conflicts, and they actually know how to do that. For some of us, it's not as easy as others, and that could really generate some shadow resistance in ourselves when we see other people do that. Another thing that can trigger is if you see somebody who is really active and very conscious and conscientious about what they're eating and that they're working out all the time and they're in great shape, this could actually trigger a shadow in yourself that is making you feel less than because of what somebody else is doing. The reason we feel that way is because there is a part of ourselves that has been taught not to be expressed, and that's actually hindering us from reaching our own full potential. Because what happens is when we have a shadow that doesn't know how to really express itself, we don't know how to handle that energy. When we see somebody who is really fit or really conscientious about what they're eating, we immediately become defensive because our brains do not know how to handle that information. They're like, oh, we don't know how to do that because we've been told not to do that forever. We don't know how to process that information. So it's really important to pull these things out, and it's often the thing that you really do not want to even discuss. Most of the time, those are the things that we really have to focus in and shine a light on, because that's the thing that's going to help us to move to the next level. That's all we're going to talk about for today, but you do have homework today. So here's your homework. I want you to spend at least 10 minutes. Minimum 10 minutes, maximum 30 minutes. Don't overdo it. I want you to make a list of the qualities in other people that you see that trigger some kind of emotion in you that's negative. So if you see a mom on the playground playing with her kids and joyfully interacting with her kids, and you just get this, why doesn't she just sit down like everybody else? Why does she have to be playing like that with the other kid? I want you to express that in a journal. So I want you to write that down, write the situation down, write the feeling down, whatever kind of comes up for you when I say to you, what are the qualities in other people that irritate you? Is it that you can't stand when people are lazy? That you can't stand when people are stubborn, when they express their feelings to you? I want you to write it all down. Write down a list. Tell me all of the things that irritate you when other people do that. And then make sure to check your email tomorrow, because we're going to have another discussion. We're going to talk about those shadows that you've identified and how you can dig into them a little bit to heal them. And then we're going to talk about why it's important to do that. So I'll catch you back here tomorrow, and make sure to do your homework.